Welcome back to the Energize Effect. This is day 3 of the New Year Limiting Beliefs Reset. And today we're talking about why so many of us settle in relationships, why we ignore the red flags, we stay too long and convince ourselves that this is as good as it gets. When you believe that love has to be earned, you don't look for safety, you look for approval. And so often that comes from how we were loved as children. So if you ever stayed just because you wanted to be loved, then this episode is for you and it will make everything click. The third belief that I had to overcome is that love must be earned or I'm hard to love. And this one might not immediately sound like a success block, but for me, this belief is still one that I have to unravel, especially now, being seen, building a platform, being in rooms or on screens where people can easily judge me, project onto me, or not understand me. This is still a tender subject for me. And because at the core of everything I do, I think as humans, all we really want to do is just be loved. Not necessarily seen, not just followed, but loved. I grew up learning that love was earned and not given, and that it came from conditions. Be helpful, be quiet, be perfect, be pleasing. If you're impressive enough or good enough or low maintenance enough, then maybe someone will choose you. And that was the programming. And I dug into these memories, and there was a couple that have really, caused these limiting beliefs in my subconscious. And growing up, I feel like I had to earn attention from my dad. It was never just given freely. And I learned very early on, if you're doing well, behaving well, achieving, you might just get a moment of warmth. But if not, it's silence. It's not that he didn't love me. He just didn't make the time or effort to build a connection with me. I'm the third child. My dad worked away from home. And as an adult now, with my own things pulling on my time, I can understand it. But as a child, I didn't. I just figured that I was unlovable. So I wired my worth around performance, around how impressive or how easy I could be. And that became my subconscious strategy in relationships, friendships, even on my online presence. This is also played out in friendships. Growing up, I had a lot of friendships where the energy was really inconsistent. Friends who could shift overnight. One day I was loved and the next day I was invisible. And I'm like, as a kid, we don't understand this. Why? Well, I didn't change, but why is your relationship with me changing? And I internalize, if I act wrong, they'll leave. If I'm too much or not enough, I'll be abandoned. So I learned to morph and become whoever they needed me to be. I shapeshifted, I performed, shrinking when I had needs, smiling when I was hurting, but again, doing it because it made them more comfortable. And it also plays out in my relationships. In partnerships, I feel like I was always proving that I was lovable. If I overgave, over-accommodating, working overtime to just be easy to love. I always prided myself in being the non-dramatic girl. Easygoing, but I actually stuffed everything down, all of my feelings, because I felt like they were too much. It wasn't safe to share because then they would leave. But it actually always ended up backfiring on me because those feelings eventually bubbled up to the surface and exploded, and not in a safe, calm way. So instead of being the easygoing girl, I became the quiet, pull my energy away, distance myself, and then explode girl. And deep down, I didn't believe that just being me was good enough. So I learned to confuse love with earning. This good girl programming runs so deep, and I was always praised for being polite and helpful. And when I was emotional or messy, when I needed something, it was often met with discomfort or rejection. And I learned that love doesn't hold you in your truth. It only holds you when you behave. So I decided to be love, I must be palatable. And that belief has followed me into every space that I have walked into, especially as I became more visible. I filtered what I posted. Okay, if this is too much, is this too out there? Will people unfollow me, not like me? I'm learning to release, but I still have moments when I do post something that's not palatable and I get scared and uncomfortable. I find myself in this weird energy where I'm very uncomfortable. I feel like I want to go check the post. Oh my God, am I getting mean comments? Oh my God, are people unfollowing me? It's just this really weird spiral that I'm worried that, is it too much? Are they not going to love me? So This belief really plays out deeply for me still today. When I post these vulnerable or real things and I don't get the reaction that I hope for, I still feel that old fear. Am I too much? Not enough? Did I make someone uncomfortable? Did I make someone mad? Even with followers, clients, people in my space, a part of me just wants to be loved, to be met in my wholeness and not just my performance. And I think that's why this is a success block, because if you believe love is conditional, you will hold yourself back from being fully seen. You'll water yourself down to stay likable. You'll exhaust yourself trying to be perfect, and you'll build a brand from your performance, but not your truth. So I've had to learn that real love feels like home, not a test. I don't have to prove anything to be loved, and that my truth is lovable, not just my obedience. And the right people will love me no matter what. They won't require a performance. They'll accept me in my highs and in my lows. And I think that's something that I have really learned over the years. And this pattern of healing didn't happen overnight. It's been a slow, steady unlearning of performance-based worth. And yes, it's also a nervous system and subconscious work. That voice in your head saying, I'm too much, I have to be perfect, or I'm not lovable unless, that voice isn't you, it's your conditioning, and we can unhook it. And that's where hypnotherapy has been so powerful for me and the clients that I work with, because we go past the mindset and we go into the origin. So where you first learned love is earned, attention must be won, truth equals danger. And from that place, we start to rewire your body to believe that it's safe to be seen in my full expression. Even when I am emotional or dramatic, it's safe to be seen. I am lovable when I'm real, not just when I'm easy. And I don't have to hustle for love anymore. And I just want you to remember that you don't have to earn love. You can be yourself, and the people that are meant to be there will love you. Stay tuned for tomorrow, because if you believe that love has to be earned, you don't just overgive. You start monitoring yourself, you replay conversations, you apologize for your feelings, you wonder if you've said too much, felt too much, or needed too much. So tomorrow we're talking about the belief that forms from that. I'm too much, I'm too emotional, I'm too dramatic. Day 4 will explain why you learn to shrink yourself just to stay loved, and why it still runs in your relationships today. You're going to want to hear this. We'll see you tomorrow.